So if you can open that, you can open the book. In the book, there's a flyer here. On the back of the flyer, or on page 10 of the book, you'll see Saam Acupuncture's 3 levels of human needs. Okay? Now, I have a lot of questions myself that I'm hoping that some Korean students can write a paper in English about the development of Saam Acupuncture, and particularly where did these 3 levels of human needs come from. I have my suspicions of where they came from. I think they probably came from Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. You've been teaching Saam, so it was a modernized technique in the 1980s in Korea, I think, thereabouts, in the 1980s. It was kind of modernized.
So you mean Dr. Kim Hong-kyung?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I learned Saam Acupuncture from Dr. Chu, Tae-chung Chu. Yeji knows him. I don't know, have you ever heard of Dr. Chu? Have you ever heard of Dr. Chu? No, okay. He was our teacher at Serma. He was a Saam instructor, probably one of the only ones in the States at the time. Yeah. So he has a manuscript, I have, and it's not available publicly. If you want to reach out to him, you can email him or call the school. He's in Virginia. But in the book, and that was my only source of Saam. When I look, now there's a little more stuff online, and it's pretty general stuff in Saam. But 100% of what I learned is from this book. So in it, he has the 3 levels of human needs there. Now, my question number 1 is, okay, where did that come from? It probably in the 1980s, it was probably applied, and it was probably derived from Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. This is a Western psychological concept. I think it was developed in the 1940s. So the basic triangle is physiological safety needs, social esteem, self-actualization, physiological food, bowel movements, safety, social esteem, self-actualization. Well, if you look on that sheet at Saam's 3 levels of human needs, the first level of human need is the need for food and for material possessions. So food is attributed to the spleen. The material possessions is attributed to the lungs. Now, when I think of material possessions, I ultimately think of your home, or the establishment of your home or homeland, and all the tools necessary to maintain your homeland, and wealth, money, So I would attribute those. They probably have very similarity to maybe these low level, like safety would be probably the lung, material possession, homeland. I had a friend I was going through the dream questions with him, and he had a dream that he flies, and we'll talk about that but he has guns, he's a gun guy. And so I said, that's interesting, weapons as part of your homeland. It's a material possession, and it's establishing your homeland, it's protecting. So this may be the lung, level 1 need in Saam, spleen for food for spleen, material possessions for homeland. So that probably pertains to these low level here, safety and physiological. Level 2 human need in Saam is the need for relationships, friendship, family, loving family, friendship, relationship, even love for a pet or an animal. That would pertain to the heart. Sexual need pertains to the kidneys. We all know that as acupuncturists. Kidneys dominate sexual reproduction. So that would probably be social there in this Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. Level 3 human need is the need for recognition of one's accomplishments, of one's power, position, and that would be attributed to the liver, but also the need for knowledge, to learn, to study. That would pertain to the pericardium. And I would think of that, the liver, as esteem or self-actualization. I don't know what that means actually, but it's probably a level 3 human need. Okay, now I'm writing a little bit. I would like to do a study that would compare Saam Acupuncture's 3 levels of human needs with Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. What are the similarities? What are the differences? Okay, well, the similarities are pretty evident, but what's the difference with Saam Acupuncture? And that the difference is these pertain to specific organs of the body. That's the difference with Saam Acupuncture, and it's a big difference in my opinion, because it's going to form this structure. Now, let me ask you this question. Okay, there's also, in Saam Acupuncture, I didn't make it clear in that book, but you have satisfaction with these human levels of need, or dissatisfaction with these levels of human need. Now, the question, how do you know if you're satisfied or dissatisfied with your level of human need? What's the best way that you could answer that? Well, we could have 5 or 10 times a day, we can fluctuate through all these human needs throughout the day. I want a house, I want to eat, I want to be famous, I want to go to school. You know, it just rotates over and over. So, and then I thought, well, what about dreams? You know, it could be possible that dreams can reflect the human need, and it might be actually very objective about it. If you're dreaming of something, that might be an objective way to determine if your human level of human need is satisfied or not. Now we're talking about dreams. So you think of Freud, Sarno. Freud was wish fulfillment. He says, and I think I quoted somewhere, I hope it's in the book, dreams are nothing but unfulfilled desires of the day. And it's a wish fulfillment approach. Wish fulfillment to dreams. Dreams reflect one's wishes. Well, of course, Freud is famous. He kind of went off track. Everything became about sex with him. I think it did cut him off short, and rightfully so. But in my opinion, the Saam Acupuncture, 3 levels of human needs. The human need is a wish fulfillment. So I would classify this as a Freud theory or structure. It's a development on Freud's wish fulfillment theory, because now we have structures. The human need is the wish, okay? So that's one way to look at it. The dreams can reflect our human needs. Now, we go into Jung. Carl Jung, are you guys familiar with Jung? Have you heard of him? Yeah. I like him and I don't like him. He was a very innovative guy, but he came up with some important concepts, the archetypes and synchronicity. But then at the same time, it's like he led people into space. And space is a fascinating place. I'm in space, it's wonderful. But actually, you get lost. There's no structure in Jung. So I've gotten in arguments with Jung on Facebook, his group, and there's absolutely no structure involved, and they can get easily offended, and then you get unfriended from their group. So, but with with Jung, with dreams. Oh, yeah. Jung's dream. He had a famous dream. When he was a young child, he had a dream where he descended into the earth like a tunnel, and he came across a worm, a giant worm, sitting on a throne, and it was very fearful. It might have said something to the effect that, I'm going to eat you, to him. So it was a very fearful dream for him as a child. Okay, so this is pretty famous. It's in some of his, a lot of his books. When I was a child, I used to dream of descending into basements of our house in a very scary place, the basement, of going to the earth. And it was a very scary and fearful place. So what is that element? Going into the ground, tunneling, going into the basement. That's the element of earth. So my question, and what I would like to study, is the life process of dreams. Do children dream of descending downwards into graves, earth, tunnels, basements, because they're vulnerable? There's a lot of threat to them. And that would be, well, how do you get out of that? How do you get out of that vulnerable position? You eat to grow big, and then those vulnerabilities just disappear. Well, that's food, that's spleen, that's earth. So I'm wondering if, as young people, we have dreams where we descend down in these scary places into the earth as a spleen or earth-type dream. But then also, what about when we grow older? Now, when I did my research, and I haven't done a ton of it, but on comparative literature, I looked at a study that was looking specifically at dream interpretations on Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. And they came to a determination that about 19% of the people have dreams of these, of the lower levels. 81% have dreams of these. Okay, so with the liver, the level 3 meat, and the element of wood, it's the accomplishment, recognition of your talents. It's the elevation of yourself or oneself to grow to your most perfect form of self and expression. And it's elevation, it's levitation, it's flying. When the flower on the tree or the plant is the most perfect expression of that plant or tree. And the petals are almost floating as lightly in air as possible, the leaves. So I think of flying now and the liver. But the question is, are you in control of your flight? Or are you flying and crashing? And also this ties into water as well, which is the kidneys. And kidneys we know are fear, post-traumatic stress, probably threatening dreams of being attacked by people, by wild animals. But water is the most, according to Jung, water is the most common theme of a dream. Well, I would like to know, is the water scary? Is it dangerous? Is it turbulent? Are you going to drown? Or is it very pleasant? Are you sitting in a nice boat? Are you drinking it out of a cup of tea? Do you have control over it? If you have control over flying, or do you have control over the water in your dream? Well, what does that reflect? If you have control, then you have some accomplishments in your levels of human needs. But if you don't have control, and they're dangerous and turbulent, you're maybe immature in the levels of human needs. And you have growth, and you need to grow and find your course in life to give you confidence, to give you that control in flight. So, that's the general theory. That's kind of what I want to know. I'm hoping to conduct a survey, which I'm in the process of kind of getting together, and it should happen soon if I go ahead and do it, where I have a survey just asking these questions pertaining to each level of human need. And I just want to know, there's so many questions to know. Is there dreams of children? Do they dream of Earth? Do older people, do they dream of flying? And I've talked to my neighbors as a preliminary. So now when I interview somebody, I'll interview them according to the 3 levels of human need. So I may start, do you dream of food? No. And in my little neighborhood, we live in a little resort community in Florida, and I've interviewed 3 men, and they've answered the questions exactly the same. Do you dream of food? No. Do you dream of home possession? No. Okay. Do you dream of relation? No. Water? No. And flying, and they answered no. But then I understood that they, to initially come to ask somebody questions on their dreams, they're not going to answer correctly on the first round of questions, because you're asking them to go into their mind and re-examine their dreams, and it's very bizarre. So I don't think they give you the truthful answer. But then they'll come around and say, yes, by the way, I do dream of that and this and that. But for instance, one guy, boats, water, he has dreams of water, but he's fishing very comfortably. It's very pleasant, beautiful, Well, and another guy that I interviewed, he's dreaming of flying in the trees, and he has his weapons, and it's actually pretty pleasant for them. Another guy was interesting. I asked him these questions. No, nothing. But then I learned, okay, maybe it's just go straight to the flying question. Do you dream of flying? Yeah, I do. I have dreamed of flying. Okay, and this one fellow I asked, he said he's dreaming of flying. He used to dream of flying, and I thought it was a present dream, but it turns out he was dreaming of flying when he was like 16 years old. And I said, well, are you in control of your flight? You know, are you crushed? No, I'm in control. Although he did say that it was a dream of peril, but I never got to examine what the peril. So then I said, okay, this is very interesting. You dream when you're flying and you're in control when you're 16 years old. So what's going on? Well, it turns out he was like the class president or vice president, you know, of his high school class. And he was a pretty popular guy. And also he's like, yeah, I learned he has an IQ of 145. In his 20s, he was put in large, and he's had multiple PhDs in chemistry and biology. By his mid-20s, he was in important positions in his work. So he had a strong foundation in the level 3 human need for knowledge. And that was my conclusion with all these fellows. After they answered no, 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 and then I found out there was some comfort in the water, and then I congratulated, well, congratulations, you have, you know, accomplishment and knowledge, you know. And they do. They're very secure in their homes, their homelands. Their dreams are not disturbing at all. So I was able to compliment them on their accomplishments and their knowledge. And, another guy, I asked, the first person I ever interviewed, and really turned me on to this question of flying, whether you're in control or not. Because when I fly, I used to fly in dreams, I was the passenger, and my plane was just crashing all the time, just crashing. So the very first time I asked this guy, he was an army, in the South African Army, special trooper, so very skilled, bombing, scuba diving, flying. I said, do you dream of flying? Oh, yeah, no problem. I said, does your plane crash? What, you talking? No way. And he's like, I'm the pilot, and I'm in control. And he was a very smart guy in control. So that was my first interview of dreams on that question of flying that really threw me back, because I expected people to be crashing when they fly like I was. But no, these people were very accomplished people, and they were in control of their flight and dreams. So anyway, that's the interpretation of dreams with Saam Acupuncture. Does anybody have any questions at all? Yes?
You said you mostly see pain patient.
Yes.
So do you apply Saam acupuncture on pain management, pain patient?
No, I do kinetic for pain, but no, this is again, you know, they come in with like 4 or 5 different complaints, and you know, say they come in with plantar fasciitis, and I get the treatment done in 5 minutes. Okay, what are we going to do next? You know, we've accomplished it. Okay, yes, I will do Saam acupuncture. I'll do a kidney junction to accentuate the plantar fasciitis. So yes, I will. But most of the time, kinetic accomplishes that. But they come in with multiple complaints, and Saam comes into play a lot when, you know, they're on the table and you're talking, and they start bringing up other things. And you've already committed to your treatment plan for that treatment, and then, you know, we'll talk about dreams all of a sudden in the middle of the treatment, and, you know, oh, okay, so here we go. Now we're on the subject of dreams. So part of the reason is that I do a lot of Saam acupuncture, but most of the patients are pain patients. Now, does anybody ever come to me as a chief complaint of strange dreams? Never, you know. Does anybody go to the acupuncturist because of strange dreams? Maybe, maybe not. They probably go to the psychiatrist, which, well, what's the reason? Because they don't know that acupuncture can affect dreams, or we have a structure. Maybe acupuncturists don't know that there can be a structure of dreams that